Hello and welcome to Module 3, the Color chapter. So in this chapter we're going to talk about some color basics, and we're going to be creating a character using some of those color basics just sort of on the fly so we can have a visual example of some of the parameters we'll discuss. First and foremost, you want to think about chromatic versus achromatic. So how much color versus how much no color, basically, which is another way of saying chromatic has color like this blue, and achromatic does not, like this gray. Then we have warm versus cool, wherein you can see this blue here, it's a very cool color, and this red is super warm. Green is warmer than blue, but it's cooler than red. And this magenta color right here is definitely warmer than the blue, but it's still a little bit cooler than this red. So the blues tend to be the most cool colors visually, and the red's the warmest. Everything in between is always going to be relative. So if I take this red, let's say, and I place it over here next to this very warm, well, lightly warm gray, you can see that the lightly warm gray appears cooler than the red. Next we have bright versus dark, so that's the value of the color. You can have a very dark, very saturated red, so dark that you can't even see the red, and as I gradually pull it up, you can start to see more red work its way into the quote-unquote light, and then the brightest point would be fully illuminated and fully blasted with this orange red I'm using. Next we have saturated versus dull, so that's how much color is in it. Very dull colors can be somewhat pastel-y or skin tony, and other dull colors can just sort of add flavor to the palette. They make much more vivid colors seem that much stronger. So let's take some of these colors and build out a quick character so that you can see how some of the design principles and some of these color parameters apply. First I'm going to start with just a dull silhouette base color. You'll see me create some characters like this more in depth in Module 4, where we talk about working in value. For now, since we're just kind of running with a bit of a fantasy theme in this particular module, let's just keep going with that and do sort of a knight. So I'll do them in profile because it's an important pose for characters and it's easy to see the shape design. Since I'm starting just in value and shape, I can make my brush very big, and I'm still just working with this very dull, very cool gray. Alright, so that'll be good enough.